If we're not super careful and conscious of what we're thinking, we all can get caught up in the yeah buts, the you don't understand my area, you don't understand my market, you don't understand my spouse, you don't know my price. All these yeah buts and all these conversations that go in our head can absolutely cripple us if we're not careful. And it's a gut check sometimes. I do it, we all do it. At some point in our life or in our week or in our month, we do it. When someone shows you a path, I believe if you could simply put aside all your yeah buts, all the stories from the past rolling in your head, I believe you can make next year the best year ever, especially given the real estate climate, where it's headed, the changes that it's going through. And believe me, when I say I have them too, or I had them, I had the stories. I also had the stories that affected how I act because I had crap going on and failures going on in the past. And for those of you that might heard a bunch, and if you just hang out at our events, you get a new one every event. I peel back another layer of the onion. I was fired at 25 years old, fired by my father's past company with my kids at age like 1 and 2 or 2 and 3, whatever they were, with zero income coming in. I could have used that as a yeah bot, big time. I had the IRS working after me, not even working with me, after me for years. I had repossession attempts on vehicles. I had everything that you probably could say, yeah, but Chris, I can't do that. Or yeah, but Chris, you don't understand my situation. And on top of that, the normal stuff that we all have to deal with, but we all react differently, like 9/11, like COVID. Here's an example. I have a person in our industry, our exact same industry. I'm friends with him. When COVID happened, we screamed to our community, here's how you double down and here's how you profit from this. You know what he did? He closed and went home. Closed his doors for several months. It killed his revenue that year, and he had to fire a lot of his employees. Same business. Stories and yeah buts that go on in our head can cripple us. Now, keep in mind, if you catch yourself doing that, it's okay, because I just showed you some of mine. I got about 40 more. Keep in mind that these events, these failures, these challenges, these yeah buts, they're events that don't define who you are. They don't. They're gone. They're done. They actually refine you if you look at them properly. They're going to keep happening, by the way. Now, I'm state specific, even though this is a Motivational Monday, but in any business, aren't they going to keep happening? Sure. And in real estate, I promise you, the reason we're here, the reason we lock arms with our students is it's not as easy as here's how you do a deal, you go out and you do that and you're a millionaire tomorrow. I wish it was that easy. It's not. You're going to have this stuff going on. So that's why I wanted to bring it out to the forefront. Now, people, forget me for a second. People all over the world have had these. So your yeah buts, your stories, they're not too important and they're not new. There's 330 some odd million people in the United States. Do you think right now, if you took one of your yeah buts, one of your failures, one of your stories that are playing in your mind, and you Googled that, do you think maybe out of 330 million people, someone perhaps maybe has a story of how to deal with that, a pathway for you, a predictable pathway for you on YouTube? I bet you do. Here's another example. We've had David Nurse speak at our events, and we've had David Nurse come to our podcast. You can go visit some of his episodes at smartrealestatecoachpodcast.com. David is a high-performance coach for NBA players. David coaches, for example, someone that just signed a contract for the NBA. Let's say it's $10 million or $13 million. He's got as high as $20 million in some of his stories to me with the players that he works with one-on-one. And he dissects their issues. It could be a technical or skill set issue with a jump shot. It could be a mindset issue. It could be a working out issue. It could be anything in this particular player's life that they need help with so they can get beyond some of these yeah buts and stories. And you know what he told me he did? It's right on the podcast if you listen to one of the episodes. He said, Chris, what we do, now I know there's a little more detail in this, but basically what he said was we'll sit down together and we'll figure that out. And I'm sure it takes time. It's not in 2 minutes. But he said then we'll just look up on YouTube or we'll Google and we'll find out some people who have conquered that same issue. Imagine that. So this player's getting paid 10 or 20 or 30 million dollars to play in the NBA. David's getting paid a whole bunch of money to coach them, and they're going to look for someone else that already did it. Wow, what a concept. And then model after that. That's what he said. So people will show you the right path if you'll just simply get the stories put aside and understand that they've been refining you all these years. They don't define you. So let's once and for all put those yeah buts and put those events and put those stories behind us. Let's once and for all use a simple 3-step formula that'll not only erase and get rid of those things that have been refining you all along that are well placed in your life, let's also allow us to not get caught up in all the shiny objects that are going to get in the way as well. 3-step formula, real simple. Then I'm going to leave you with some really cool examples. Step number 1, find a niche. I'll even say a business, because you might be someone as a wicked smart viewer that are watching these Motivational Mondays for just the pure motivation, not just real estate. So step 1 is find a business or an industry that you can get behind. If it's in real estate, find a niche that you can get behind in a lot of ways. Do you like helping people? Do you just like sitting behind the computer, maybe spinning some land deals? Like, what is it that you like? What can you get behind? If it's our niche, awesome. Step 2, find someone in that niche who has gone through different market cycles, who is still active in the real estate business, or if you're doing another business, fine. But they've got to have the experience with cycles so they can help you navigate when the next cycle comes. They've got to have life challenges that have happened to them that they've successfully worked their way through so they can help you with yours, because you're going to have some. That's called life. And they've got to be able to still be actively, in our case, doing deals. There are just too many people out there that don't fit those criteria. That's step 2. Step 3, commit mentally for 3 to 7 years, and let your coach, your mentor, your group you're attached with, whatever you picked in step 2, let them know, hey, I'm committed for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, nothing less than 3. This is not about dipping your toe in the water. This is about getting that crap and the stories behind you and the yeah buts behind you, and then committing and going with blinders on. That's the 3-step formula that'll help you with this whole process. Now, I want you to think about something, then I'll leave you with a quote. The very, very best baseball players in the Major Baseball League fail 65 or so percent of the time, 65 to 70% of the time. They fail. I think they do okay financially, and I think they're considered among the top in the league, but they fail 65 to 70% of the time. It's okay. It's okay if you go through failure. It's okay if you go through some of the things I went through. It's okay if you recognize you have those events, but it's time to put them behind you and use them as a springboard, not as a yeah but. I want to read you a quote from Michael Jordan, which I think is appropriate here, and I'm going to leave you with that. And I invite you to come hang out with us. Let us help you through this process. Every single week we hang out with you for free if you want to take that opportunity. It's on what we call a Wicked Smart Sit Down, and it's every Thursday for 50 minutes on Zoom, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just go to smartrealestatecoach.com/events. Let me read you one of the quick quotes from Michael Jordan. He clearly embraces his failures. In fact, one of his favorite ads for Nike says, I've missed more than 9,000 shots. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. And again, just like the analogy I gave you with the baseball players, do you think he sort of, maybe, perhaps, did okay? So you're okay. Use these events to refine you and create a lifestyle of your dreams.